Hey guys, coming at you today with a different style of video that I thought might be interesting. Definitely let me know in the comments and giving it a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. I literally have not made my fudgesicle recipe in over 2 years, and I just looked at the ingredients and realized I don't even remember the procedure in making my fudgesicles, because I thought it was just my cook and serve pudding put into popsicle molds, but I must have done some other stuff to make it better while it's frozen. So I'm gonna follow my video step by step in making some keto fudgesicles. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alycia and I'm a pastry chef with a sweet tooth. And I'm here to show you all the tips and tricks on how to make the best keto recipes possible. So if you enjoy my recipes, please hit the subscribe button down there, give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share with all your friends and family. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today, a new kind of video, and I'm gonna try to put it up on the screen for you. I'm not sure what that all entails. I've never done like a review video where I'm like reviewing other videos or anything like that. So I will try to put it up on the screen for you, but I literally have nothing set up here. Like I have my measuring spoons, my scale. I looked at the ingredients, but I haven't grabbed any of them yet or grabbed any of my utensils or anything that I need. I would have my laptop set up, but I have nowhere in front of me to set it up. It's back there right now. I'm also doing some work on there, so let's begin. Hey guys, coming at you today with a delicious frozen keto treat to beat the summer heat, a keto fudgesicle. So let's get started. I need like a place to set this up. Here. Welcome to Keto Upgrade. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alycia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. And here we make delicious pastries. I used to be a sous chef. For my time as a pastry chef, my goal is to make the best keto desserts possible. So if you enjoy this content, please consider hitting the subscribe button down there. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today we're making fudgesicles. Fudgesicles, yay! I was doing some research on this and it clicked in my brain. It came up pudding pops. And all the recipes for regular homemade fudgesicles were basically a pudding recipe. So I already have a pudding recipe. So that's where I started. But I perfected it to make it super creamy and soft texture. It is delicious. It's like you are eating frozen creamy pudding. It is amazing and it's perfect for these hot summer nights. So there did say that I took my cook and serve pudding recipe and made it into fudgesicles, but I had to do some alterations to make it super soft, which is why I think I added the allulose into my recipe. Watch my pudding video. I'll link it up there for you if you haven't seen it. But I have a cook and serve and an instant. I didn't try it with the instant because most of the fudgesicle recipes I looked up for normal fudgesicles were a cook and serve pudding that you basically froze. The only difference is I left out the heavy cream powder and put in a cup of heavy cream because with 2 cups of almond milk, they were more like ices instead of ice cream, like a fudgesicle consistency. So I have a cup of heavy cream and a cup of almond milk on the stove here. Okay, so that explains why the ingredients are a little bit different. I used heavy cream instead of heavy cream powder. My touch screen is so bad on my phone. Okay, so I need a cup of heavy cream and a cup of unsweetened milk of choice. I, in the bakery, use my So Delicious coconut milk. I'm probably gonna have to make a second batch of this because I want at least 2 dozen to sell, but I'll only follow my recipe here so it comes out right. So 8 ounces. I always overshoot. Okay, 8 ounces. 8 ounces of cream. Okay, always clean as you go. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, what's next? I said I already did my dry ingredients, so I already weighed out my dry ingredients, which are pretty much the same, except for I took out the heavy cream powder and I did half Monkfruit erythritol and half allulose. Can do the original recipe with 1/3 of a cup of the Monkfruit, but it's more like your ice creams that you're used to getting from the store.
they're very hard, but it still tasted delicious. It was still creamy, but it was a little bit hard. And I wanted like that soft fudgesicle texture or pudding pop texture. So I did half allulose and that kept it nice and soft. So I have all my dry ingredients here. I'm just whisking them together. We're gonna add that into our heavy cream and almond milk. And before we turn that on, because you know this stove is crazy hot and will be done in no time, we gotta bloom our gelatin. 1.5 tablespoons of cold water, and we're gonna bloom our 1 teaspoon of gelatin in there.
Okay, so I didn't put the ingredients up on the screen, which is what I do now. So I have fixed that at least, but I'm gonna have to go down in the description box and figure out what the dry ingredients are. So this was also before I gave all gram measurements. So this was an old video because I've been doing gram measurements for the last couple of years. So 1/4 cup of allulose. I'll measure it out for you guys in grams. Oh, it's usually 40. I usually figure 1/4 cup is 40. A whole cup of allulose is 160. 1/4 cup of, I use the Monkfruit erythritol blend. Should be 30 grams. 34. So not too off. And then 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. This is why I don't do cup measurements, because it is super clumpy and I can't really get like a straight 1/4 cup on there. 27 grams, but there was a bunch of clumps in there and I couldn't really get a flat measurement on it. The nice thing about this is that it's not super crucial because I'm not baking anything. And then 2 teaspoons of arrowroot. Should be 8 grams. It was 6. So we're gonna sift and then whisk this into our milk and cream. Okay. Okay, so I didn't turn it on yet in the video, so I'm just going to wait to turn that on until we get the next step.
Our gelatin. 1.5 tablespoons of cold water, and we're gonna bloom our 1 teaspoon of gelatin in there.
Okay, got my water. I have found out since this video that beef gelatin is a little bit stronger than Knox gelatin, which is pork. So you may want to add a tiny bit extra if you're using the unflavored Knox gelatin. Okay, that's ready to go. Now I turn on my stove.
Now while that's sitting, we can start cooking our pudding. You definitely want to start with a whisk. Get all your dry ingredients mixed together, and then we're gonna switch to a spatula and just let it come to a boil and thicken. And then the only other thing I added to this is, with looking up those regular fudgesicle recipes, a lot of them had regular chocolate and some butter in them. I tried it without it for the first recipe. I just tried my straight pudding, and it didn't taste as chocolatey. I realized when you freeze things, the chocolate taste almost gets muted by being cold. So I just added 1 ounce of Lily's semi-sweet chocolate chips and then 1 tablespoon of butter, which that's probably optional. With adding the heavy cream, you get a creamy texture no matter what.
Okay, so that's why I added the chocolate. I didn't remember that part of the recipe, which is why I was like, I'm gonna follow my own recipe and make these, because I don't remember where the chocolate came in and the butter, which I said was optional. So I'm guessing once this is coming to a boil, we're going to put in our gelatin and our chocolate chips.
But this definitely makes it like a little fudgesicle fat bomb if you add that 1 tablespoon of butter. It is so creamy and delicious. But you can definitely leave it out if you want to. It'll make it a little bit less calories also. It makes 8 popsicles, and they're only 1.6 grams of net carbs per fudgesicle. So
I'm definitely going to have to make more of this.
Mixed in. We're gonna save our whisk to whisk our chocolate chips and butter into our pudding. Switch to a spatula and just stir until it starts to bubble around the edges and thicken. As you can see, I already prepared my popsicle molds. The link will be below for these specific ones. I don't know about you, but if you have a French door refrigerator, it's really hard to have the tall popsicles in there because everything kind of lays flat instead of like upright. So I opted for the flat popsicle molds that I can just put on a sheet tray and kind of slide right on the top shelf of my freezer. Because with having my ice cream maker in there, I do not have a lot of stand-up room. But I do like these molds that I bought. They are down in the description box if you want to buy the same ones. They're silicone. Super easy to use, super easy to wash, but you're already ready to go because after this comes off the heat, you're going to want to pour them right into your molds. Already starting to get thick. Now there are other things you can add to this. I kept it simple, but adding like a teaspoon of...
Okay, so I should have mentioned the popsicle molds before I turned on my pudding. So I'm going to get my popsicle molds done now. I'm going to turn off my mixture. Get my 1 ounce of chocolate chips weighed out with the 1 tablespoon of butter and get my popsicle molds ready, and then we can finish the recipe. Okay, so 1 ounce of chips, 1 tablespoon of butter. I always use salted, which I don't think I mentioned in there, but if you don't, I think adding a little bit of salt to the mixture, if you're using unsalted butter, would heighten the sweetness and chocolatey flavor a little bit more. Done with our scale now. You definitely want these on something stable so that they don't spill if you're going to the freezer with them. I'll probably make another double batch after I make this batch. So I'll have 24. I'm hoping I got better at the order of operations and explaining things ahead of time instead of while we're cooking. I like to have it that you can follow my recipes. So I'm hoping that watching this, learning and thinking about it makes me think more about you following along with me while making a recipe. So everything's ready. So let's get on with it.
But adding like a teaspoon of espresso powder would bring out the chocolate flavor a lot. Or I was thinking, I just made that orange poke cake, making orange chocolate fudgesicles. Adding like a tablespoon of orange extract to this, or peppermint extract to make like a chocolate peppermint. There's a lot you could add to this.
Haven't done any more experimenting with this.
Oh, chocolate covered strawberry fudgesicles. I'm sure I'll be making many variations of this, and ice cream bars. This has come to a boil. You can see the edges are rolling. So turn off your heat, add in your gelatin, let that dissolve. And again, I forgot my pot holder. They hang by the stove, which is where I usually work.
Okay, so in the video I was using a butane burner, which goes really fast, so that was probably real time that it was done. But I am not, because I worry that I'm gonna burn things on this stove because it's so high powered, so it's on low. Kicked up the heat a little bit, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. Okay, it just started getting thick and boiling, so I'm pouring over my chips and butter.
Once that's dissolved, which it doesn't take long because it's boiling, you pour it over your chocolate chips and your butter.
Oh, I put the gelatin in first.
Here. It doesn't take long. Doesn't add any extra carbs either if you use the semi-sweet. Can use any chocolate chips you want, even do like the salted caramel chocolate chips or something like that. Oh, that'd be good. But that does add some carbs. Once everything is melted.
Okay, so since that video, I had been using the Lily's semi-sweet chocolate chips, and they said that it was 0 carbs on the back of the package. Someone mentioned in a video after that sometime that Lily's has changed the back of their package and that it was no longer 0 carbs for the semi-sweet. I used Bake Believe chocolate chips in this batch, which is the same as pretty much every other dark and semi-sweet chocolate chips, and they're 1 carb for a 1/2 ounce. So I learned that the hard way, to always check the back of your packages. Even if it's something you use all the time, it could have changed on you. Okay. I think that's good. Let's move on.
Get rid of your whisk and go back to your spatula because you want to scrape everything out of this into the mold. And then I don't fill them up completely because then you won't get an even 8. But as soon as it hits the very bottom of the popsicle, and then you can go a little bit more than that. Pretty much like 1/8 of an inch from the top of the mold. Almost to the very top.
Okay, so in the video, I had a bowl that had a spout on it, which comes in handy for this. So I'm going to pour it into a glass measuring cup. Would have been better if I used the bigger one, but I'm going to use that to pour into here. Just going right over the wooden popsicle. They always err on the side of caution when you do it so that you get an even 8 popsicles. Even if that chocolate does add 2 carbs to the whole mixture, these creamsicles, these fudgesicles are still only 2 net carbs each. Okay, now that they're all over just the top of the popsicle, add a tiny bit more to each one. They do start to set up pretty fast. I remember that much. Okay. I don't know if you can see, they're about maybe 1/4 inch from the top of the mold. Let's see what I say for the rest of the video.
That they start forming that skin right away. Now, if you don't want the pudding skin, at this point you can cover them with a piece of plastic wrap, but I kind of like the skin on it. It kind of melts off the fudgesicle and you still get the pudding skin taste. It's pretty great. These gotta chill for, I don't know, I've only ever done it for over 8 hours when I go to work. I would say just do these the night before and then wake up in the morning and you'll have fudgesicles.
Well, I guess we're just throwing these into the freezer and I'll time it because now that I work in the bakery all day, I'll be here for a couple more hours. So I'll see after 2 hours if they are ready to go. I hope you enjoyed that little cook along video. So that was a pretty simple recipe. It wasn't exactly the easiest to follow along with the video, but it came out exactly how it was supposed to, and they look delicious and they look right. So we'll be back here in just a second for you and we'll try one. Okay, I believe it's only been about 3 hours and they feel solid. So let's try one of them. I'm gonna keep all the rest in there for now, but I touched this one and grabbed it out, so the rest we're gonna sell. Oh, looks like a fudgesicle. Yay!
So there's 2 things you can do. You can either just put them in a Ziploc if they're not gonna last you very long, which they probably won't. If you think they're gonna last a while, you can wrap each one individually in plastic wrap.
I looked up the date of that video and it was July 2021, so almost 3 years ago now. So I don't think I've even eaten one. I don't think I made any at the bakery when I was working there either. Maybe I did once, but I didn't eat any of them. So it's been a long time. But it is super soft. I don't bite my ice cream. I lick it and make it last forever. I feel like it's not quite as sweet, but again, since I've had Van, my taste buds are definitely different. This doesn't taste super sweet to me. It's still delicious. It's like super creamy, just frozen pudding. It's so good. Dare I say better than a pudding pop you could buy at the store, because it is so soft and melty and delicious. And it only took a couple hours to set up and it wasn't that hard to put together. Following my recipe was a little bit difficult, but I always suggest watching my video all the way through once and then going through and like if you wanted to do step by step. I try my best now to do it in the orders of operation, like while you're doing this, get this done, stuff like that. So back then I was working 40 to 60 hours a week plus putting out a recipe video every week. So it was a lot of work. So a lot of times I'd prep stuff ahead of time. So that's why like my dry ingredients were measured out and stuff like that. So now I work from home, stay-at-home mom, I have a bakery, I do videos, and I do vendor shows. So let me know if this is the type of video you like, if you enjoyed watching this and me reacting to one of my old videos. Maybe if I get like 1,000 thumbs up, I'll know that you guys really want to see this video, and maybe I'll do a couple more. Because it was kind of fun to watch my old videos. I always reference my old videos and recipes. Like if I haven't made something in a long time, I always go back and look at the video, look at the blog post, the description box, stuff like that, so that I know the tips and tricks that I tell you guys, because I can't remember everything. If it's not fresh in my mind, I go back and look at my old videos. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos. This is delicious. I definitely suggest you make this for your keto summer treats. It is so good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my Amazon links and the blog link to the full recipe in the description box below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're not already, and hit the bell icon. And as always, I'll be back with more keto recipe videos. Bye guys. Happy keto ice cream making. Van, what do you say? Please. More, please? There you go. That was good.